This is TJ Rivera, minor league coach with the Cleveland Guardians, and you're watching the Legends on Deck podcast with host Brian Koss and David Conde.
Counts 0-2. And Sandoval hits it into center. Back at the wall. Goodbye. 1-0 Giants and a home run by Pablo Sandoval. The 2-0. Fly ball into left. Back at the wall. He's homered again. Wasn't activated until the 3rd week of August. Into center. At the wall. Another. Pablo Sandoval with a 3-homer game in World Series game number 1.
Oh my
this
God.
is a money ball, gentlemen, and this is Panda. Oh, money ball! Let's go!
Kung Fu Panda! Let's go! Save up!
That's worth 6. A gold ball, and suddenly it's 8 Tuies.
Another one of the new innovations in baseball united. The gold ball doubles the runs. 3 times 2 is 6. That's amazing.
I love it.
Panda. Lock it, cock it, rock it, restock it out to right center, and that's the first home run for the East All-Stars. Gives them a commanding lead in the top half of the 5th.
Welcome to episode 62 of the Legends on Deck podcast. I'm David Conde, and welcome back, Dylan. He's kind of sitting in for co-host Brian Koss. So, Dylan, once again, thank you for sitting in for Brian today and kind of being on the show with us.
Yeah, David, it's gonna be a fun show, and obviously excited to get to talk to Pablo and obviously John as well coming back on. So looking forward to it.
Awesome. So we're excited today. We have a 3-time World Series champion with the San Francisco Giants. He also won the 2012 World Series MVP, and you're a 2-time All-Star, Pablo Sandoval. Welcome to our show today.
Thank you for having me, man. Happy to be part of this podcast.
Awesome. Thank you. And welcoming back, we want to welcome the Executive VP of Baseball Operations, co-owner, Vice Chairman of the Board of Baseball United, John Miedreich. Thank you again for coming back on the show with us today.
David, thank you, and Dylan. My background isn't as sexy as the pandas there, but we'll live.
You take one championship, 1 ring away is 4.
All right, bro. Well, so pass that one to me. He's
So, Pablo, growing up in Venezuela, you had some great countrymen to look up to, like Omar Vizquel, Andres Galarraga. How did playing with one of your idols in Vizquel help to shape you into the player that you have become?
You know, it's amazing because you watch those guys when you were little kid on TV and you follow all the steps to be part of the big leagues like that. They did great career. And you know, in 2008, I got the opportunity to play again, to play next to my side with one of my favorite baseball player, a mentor for me is Omar. And you know, it's one of the things that as a kid I was looking for, and Amiga Galarraga when he was with the Giants when I was in the minor league. You know, it's a pleasure to be part of the organization and be part in my career. Those guys being part of my career, give me advice and a lot of things to perform better in the show.
Yeah. So when you got to finally meet him and face to face and kind of sit down with him in the games, you know, what was that feeling like? You know, just sitting and think, wow, like I'm sitting next to the guy I looked up to, and here I am on, you know, in the pros with him. I mean, what was that feeling like?
One of the things that I was telling you all, man, you all, because I tell Omar, you all, because when I was a little kid, when I was 10, you was in the big leagues, and now I'm 21, 22. I'm playing with you. That means you be in the league for many years, and you know, it's like I said before. You know, sitting next to him, asking a lot of questions. You know, taking all those advice and all the little things in the baseball that we don't know, and you know, take those things to be better player, to be better person, to be better human being.
Well, I just think it's awesome to have someone that you look up to in your country, you know, your own countryman has made it to where you need to be, like you want to be, and then to have that connection with him and that kind of changing of the guard, saying, hey, now I'm in the league now, and you know, all the skills that he has, all the experience that he has to kind of like share with you and kind of put you on the path of where you ended up being. I think that was just awesome that you got to experience that with him. Not many people do that, and you got to get that, so it was awesome.
Yeah, not many people do that, and you know, for me, it's a bless. God give me the bless to be part of it.
Awesome.
Pablo, David kind of gave a brief overview of your career, and obviously mentioning you're a 3-time World Series champion with the Giants, World Series MVP, 2-time All-Star. But you got the chance to be a part of some great teams with the San Francisco Giants, and being a part of that Giants dynasty during those years. I mean, how did that solidify yourself in the major leagues? During those runs.
You know, what's unbelievable, because be part of the dynasty is tough. You know, when you build a team from the farm system, start experience things with a team, and bring young guys to big leagues, and those guys be performing well, and you put a group together with a pitching staff, different hitting, all those coaching staff. You know, what's unbelievable run for 5 years. You know, we. World Series champs for 3. That's amazing.
You know, you won that championship, that first title in 2010. You won it pretty early in your career. You were only in your 3rd season at that point. You had made your debut in 2008. And so you were in early on in your career. I mean, winning that championship that young and early in the career, I mean, what did that do to you from a mentality standpoint as a player? I mean, like, what did that do to you, going forward in the rest of your career?
Do a lot of things, you know, when you're young and you got the opportunity to be part of a postseason, and early in your career, you get a lot of experience to get the opportunity to, when you get to another one, the emotion goes down. So it teach me a lot of things, because the first one was a taste. I don't play many games, but the second one was the most important for me.
You played 10 plus years in the big league. Oh, sorry, David.
No, I just wanted to kind of touch on that quickly. So you win your first World Series. Also, as a fan, watch our team World Series, it's an amazing feeling. I can only imagine as a player. You win 1, then you win 2. When you won your 3rd one, is the excitement any different than the first 2? Is what are you feeling on the 3rd one when you won it? Is it a dream come true? Obviously it is, but
it's amazing, because it's all the workout you pull during off season, all the season, during the season, just to get to that point, to win a championship. And you know, the time is still better and better. Every time that you won, you get more, you want more, you want more. So you know, I got the opportunity to be part of 4, 3 with the Giants, 1 with the Braves, and you know, it's like I say, God gave me that bless that so many guys in the big leagues been playing for so many years, and they don't have one.
Mm-hmm. You're right.
Pablo, you played a very long career, 10 plus years in the big leagues. You obviously, as we've mentioned, you've seen the top of the mountain, but now to be able to join a league like Baseball United, to be able to be a part of the fabric of this new league, and one of the kind of hedges, if you will, or one of the big key pieces to this league, Baseball United. I mean, what impact do you hope to leave on this league after you are even done playing? Past your playing days.
I've been in big stage. I've been in a lot of things, but this new short is opportunity. It's a blessed to be part of. It's one of the top moments that I have in my career too, because you know, it's history. We're building a new opportunity to young guys to play baseball, to experience, and you know, be part of this. The history is one of the blessed and great moment that I have in my career too.
Kind of building off of that, to be able to not only play with guys who you've gotten a chance to play throughout your career, guys who you've gone to battle against, guys who you've been teammates with, but also be able to play up against some young talent, and also to be able to help mentor some of the younger talent that's coming into the league. I mean, how special is that to be able to be with a league that's got such a unique dynamic with the way that the players are in this league?
The job those guys doing. John is one part of all this cash, all the investment group. They're doing great. The CEO group, they're doing great group to build the league, and be part of this. Be a mentor to young guys. Have the opportunity to play guys that from India, from Pakistan, It's a bless because they don't have the opportunity to play in the big league, but we have the opportunity to play with them, and it's a bless for me to be part. And if I got the opportunity to go again, I will love to go again because I wanna build one thing that open the door for young guys and guys that they don't have the opportunity to come to the United States to play baseball.
Exactly. I want to touch on one thing. We had previous episode, we had Jordan's on the show, and I kind of want to ask you a little bit about the showcase. We talked about how exciting that was and how to be a part of that, be on the field with your fellow professional ball players and the young kids. That day when it finally happened, what was going through your mind? What were you feeling to finally have the showcase happening, playing the game, and being a part of that?
For me, what's special? I don't know, John. For them, was more special because they have more years building that league. But for me, was special because I got the opportunity to bring baseball to the Middle East and open the door for young guys that, not for me, because the opportunity is for young guys and showing that baseball is gonna be worldwide. It's for me, it's great. That experience, that showcase those days, the 2 days we have there playing baseball, to showing the love of the game we have for baseball.
Yeah, we were excited too. We watched it. I watched it, and it was just something to see. To see you guys in the field again was exciting for me because I follow all your careers. But just to see that you continue to play and be part of this great thing they're doing, that you guys are doing now, you all are doing it, like we talked about before. You guys are part of this great group of guys that have come together to create something great on the other side of the world. It's just something great to see you still playing and be a part of that. So I'm honored to be able to talk to you and also keep watching you play.
Thanks, man. Thanks.
John, let me switch to you for a second. One thing this league overall brings is the expansion to the game in different markets. That may not get the same exposure that we get here in the States, right? So can you kind of give us an idea of what is the difference with MLB and Baseball United? And one thing I want to touch on with that is, baseball is very traditional, right? It just goes by the book pretty much. There's some excitement and after a home run, but they're very traditional with it. You guys have this thing, the go ball, right? And I believe if you hit a home run, you get double the runs. And I believe Pablo kind of hit the home run that got double the runs. So kind of give us an example. What is the other differences that you see that also are gonna? If I'm a baseball fan looking in, I'm gonna say, "Wow, this is something different than what I'm used to with MLB."
Well, really appreciate the opportunity just to share a little bit more about what we're doing here. You touched on a lot. Obviously, myself and Cash and the owners group, from the non-players' perspective, have so much respect and admiration, and we're lifelong fans of Major League Baseball. And then the guys who, the owners group who played at the highest levels at MLB, and then all the players who, were playing in our league. So when you look, though, at the tradition, you talked about tradition, the tradition of the game of baseball. Professional baseball is the oldest professional sport on the planet, right? MLB's number one strength is their 150 years of history. Mm-hmm. There's particular challenges that obviously they face as any other league faces, but particular to them in the game of baseball here in the United States, the average age of a Major League Baseball fan is 57 years old here in the United States. 57. It's the oldest of all of the four major sports. We talked about in episode 61 with Jair that the 1 billion fans of cricket, the other bat and ball sport, the number one bat and ball sport on earth, in the part of the world that we're launching baseball. If you look at those 1 billion fans, the average age is 34 years of age. This is a very young part of the world. The average age of a person living in India is 28. The average age of a person living in Pakistan is 24. The average age of a person living in the Middle East in the GCC is 31. So they're young, sports-loving, and just a vibrant community. When you look at baseball, right, and you look at arguably the best player today, Shohei Ohtani, has approximately 7 million followers on Instagram, approximately 7 million. Virat Kohli, who is the Shohei Ohtani of cricket, has 140 million. So it just shows the engagement that young fan base and the admiration and the way they idolize their sports heroes. So when you kind of overlay all of that, and as we look at this as a business and an ability to grow the game, right? Baseball United wants to tap into that. We want to be a young, irreverent sports brand, baseball brand that can reach and inspire, that community to fall in love with the game that we love. Now, we have three particular buckets of difference than any other league. One of them is we really want to internationalize our roster. We don't just, obviously we want to check boxes of players from, for example, Venezuela, like Panda here, or from Curacao, like we had with Jair. But we're looking to check the boxes of India, Pakistan, the Middle East, Sri Lanka. We want to find those unique places and give those players, the best players from those countries, an opportunity to play. Because really the only way to inspire the kids on the ground is if somebody looks like them, talks like them, and comes from where they come from, is playing at the highest levels. So internationalizing the roster as much as we can. The second bucket of difference is entertainment. I think we touched on it in the last episode as well. We really want to inject baseball as entertainment, sports as entertainment, that Caribbean vibe environment that's, a musical and a cultural experience to go to a game. We're trying to replicate that and duplicate that. I mean, Pablo could tell you better than anyone. It's different watching a game in Caracas than it would be, let's say, up in New York, right? So if we
it's way different.
If we could replicate that and kind of inject that into the Middle Eastern and South Asian culture, we believe that we can get many more fans to kind of fall in love with the game of baseball. And then lastly, David, the innovation piece, right? We want to be able to innovate on some of the things on the gameplay strategies, such as the money ball, right? The money ball, in which 3 times a game, a manager of the team at bat could call them, could put the money ball in play. And history was made on November 25th when Panda happened to take Saurabh Gaikwad deep when there was 2 men on base, and it's the first ever 6-run home run in the history of the game. So if you Google 6-run home runs in baseball, literally the first thing that comes up is Panda going deep over the right field wall. Now, I'll tell you this, that innovation, I got to give, our president and CEO Cash credit with that. That was his brainchild, something that I didn't necessarily love because, being a 44-year-old male who grew up watching the game the way that I did, I do appreciate the tradition of the game. But I also understood that Cash's vision and understanding of how to reach this generation was important. And boy, was I wrong and he right, because I'll tell you this, and I don't even know if Pablo knows this, but that clip, right? So that clip went viral of him hitting that ball over the right field wall. We've had over 100 million media impressions on that video alone, social media impressions globally. So well over 100 million since he hit that on November 25th. But those are the things that kids can really connect with, that emotion, that excitement. And that's what we're trying to inject back into the game of baseball.
Well, yeah, John, I want to follow up real quick back kind of what you were mentioning about getting kids into the game. And I think that's one of the great things about Baseball United that you guys have really been offering is really the promotion and growth of the game of baseball. what has been what have you heard from people? I mean, like, what has been that reception? I mean, from hearing people, whether they have gone to the games, back at the showcases and such, like, what has been that general reception that you've heard, and seeing people get into the sport that, all of us love?
Yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, look, when we were around the stadium, and Panda can attest to this, there was hundreds of fans waving Venezuelan flags in Dubai, in the middle of Dubai, right? Waving Venezuelan flags. There was Dominican flags, Egyptian flags. Just an unbelievable opportunity. How receptive the world has really been to what we're doing, and a great example of that, Dylan, would be when one of our prospects, remember in episode 61, I explained the 25 players on the team, 21 were professionals, 4 were what we're calling prospects. And one of our prospects, Hashan, is a young kid from Sri Lanka, right? And he never had the experience of hitting against a professional pitcher. And one of the other some of the innovation that we've created was, so you as traditional baseball fans understand, here we declare 10 players, right? 1 through 9 and the DA. Mm-hmm. In Baseball United games, in order to get more local talent who has less experience hitting against the 95-mile-an-hour fastball, we're looking for guys who could just flat out fly. So Hashan is a kid who can get down the line. He runs like out of the box from the right-hand side, like 3.9 seconds down the line, which is pretty damn fast, right? Mm-hmm. So we like him, and we created this role. So we're declaring 11 players per game, 1 through 9, a DH, was a designated hitter, and a DR, a designated runner. So a couple of times a game, the manager, as long as there's somebody's on base, the manager can put the designated runner in without like the defensive substitution, let's say, right? So you could put Tashan into, so it allows us to take kids from the local environment who haven't necessarily faced 95 miles an hour, right? Chin music from a 95, but we could throw that kid on first base. And Hashan actually went out and stole a base, right? So he was the first prospect to steal a base in a Baseball United game. When he went back to so it's televised, I talked about it in the last episode, 127 countries, 13 broadcasters. People all over Sri Lanka are watching the game because he's a national hero there now. He lives in a small village outside of the main city of Colombo. And as he's traveling back, right, so he lands in Colombo, he's traveling back. There's literally a parade to receive him back to his village, where he's sitting on top of a fire truck and people are throwing flower petals at him, right? He became a national celebrity because he got this chance to play with the likes of Panda and the likes of Robbie Cano and the likes of Jair. So the reality is the reception has been something way more than we could have even imagined or planned for. And we truly believe collectively as a group from Baseball United, that as we continue to really resonate with that grassroots and with the community, there's just going to be more engagement and more excitement coming, because what we want to be able to do 2024, our plan is to expand upon that. We had 8 prospects in showcase number 1, 4 on each team. We're going to grow that number. So 2024, be aware, we're going to have, we're going to be looking for those, needles in the haystack, for those diamonds in the rough from that area of the world in order to give them the opportunity to play. So we're going to build upon that and actually expand and have more players.
Well, that's awesome. One thing I spoke to Cash about, I want to touch on 2 things. The first thing with Cash was a player from Cameroon, Africa, that actually we connected with the gentleman that runs the Harmony Baseball Academy there. And then one of his guys got drafted into your league. I think it was the last pick. That's awesome, because when would he have ever gotten the opportunity to really have the opportunity to play on a professional level unless he kind of went through the ranks and everything, and you guys opened the door for him?
Well, yeah, obviously when you're talking about launching this new product, see, here in the United States, we talk about the tradition of MLB, their 150 years of history and records, quite frankly. It's very difficult for them because the defined product that they are. It's obviously a challenge to bring a player who doesn't have the experience. I mean, we talk about this all the time. I mean, Pablo could speak to this better than anyone, but the reality is, for a guy like Panda to play at the level that he did, he had to be able to develop playing against players who were quality ball players, right? If he was the level he was, and maybe born in Sri Lanka, maybe we don't know the likes of, a 4-time World Series champion, 1-time World Series MVP. Because particularly in the game of baseball, to develop a player, it's not just about developing him. The talent that surrounds him and he's playing is necessary. I could be the greatest hitter in the world off a tee or off a front toss, but if I don't have a kid who can throw a nasty 12-6 and bring it, in the low 90s that I can actually get experience hitting against, I can't further develop as a player. So the reality is that's the situation here at the highest levels of professional baseball, whereas this white space opportunity, because again, the fan is less sophisticated in that part of the world, we can I don't want to say bend the rules, and I don't want to say lower the standard, but what we can do is we can think outside the box and give kids an opportunity to showcase their ability and skills in a controlled environment of a Baseball United setting.
Well, another thing I touched on, Cash, was when he brought up about the gold ball, right? And we were kind of wondering what that was going to look like, what that was going to be. And then, Pablo, you hit the home run and it kind of exploded what it was. I know we talked about, Savannah Bananas, right? They have this crazy way of doing baseball. Pablo, I don't know if you've ever heard of them, but, they're going around the country and they're playing crazy baseball. But if you look at the difference between MLB and what Savannah Bananas are doing, they're growing tremendously with the fan base. You guys bring in this double home run runs. You kind of bring in these prospects that come in. You do things differently. That's how you're going to bring the young. You said there's a young crowd over there, right? Young fan base. That's how you're going to grab that young fan base, by doing the things differently than what MLB's traditional way is, but keeping the way of baseball. Baseball is baseball.
Well, look, so I would look at it like, one of the analogies that we often use within the group of here at Baseball United, and really our advisory council and some of the guys who are really influential in the innovation piece. You look at Major League Baseball, think about it as a scale, right? Major League Baseball, traditional, best players in the world, greatest history in the world. Then all the way at the other end is the Savannah Bananas. And I say this with the most, utmost respect. That many ways could be defined as a circus. And I don't mean that.
I agree. Yeah.
But it could be defined as a circus. We don't want to be a circus.
Yeah.
Only we want to be a carnival. And that's somewhere in the middle.
No,
right?
and I never thought of it that way. It's just,
no, I get it.
You're doing something a little different.
Exactly.
Drawing the fans that maybe are not seeing it the way that we want them to see it,
Exactly. And believe me, I didn't.
It's just kind of fun too. It's kind of fun because, baseball is so traditional. Is 3 outs, 3 strikes, 1 run. And you got opportunity to hit a homer. They cost 2 runs, double the point. It's good. It's fun. It's a new thing for me. I don't wanna be part of that, but when I hit it, now I know how fun it is, because one swing can change everything.
Yeah, because
he can change the game.
He just padded his stats. He got 6 RBIs in 1 swing.
So when you hit it, Pablo, did you know when you hit it that, oh my God, I doubled the run right now?
Yeah, I knew as soon that I hit it, and I'm no Pam Homer. As soon that I hit it and I drop the bat, it's coming.
You know what's so great about that rule, Pablo? If you remember that was earlier in the game. Then the other team started to kind of pull back, and there was a time, it was the 9th inning, right? And there was a couple of men on base, and the game wasn't out of reach. Why? Because the other team put in play, their money balls. So the reality was, what we thought, or what Cash's vision was, no game is really out of hand, right? Any games within striking distance, as long as there's money balls in play.
No, I still think it was a genius thing. And then, of course, having Pablo hit the ball, have that experience. I mean, either way, at the end of the day, like we talked about before, is the goal of Baseball United is to build a fan base. And how you build it is reaching the kids. You're reaching kids now. You're reaching younger adults. Some kids are going to come out to the games and want to be a part of it. And like you said, go back to their country, wherever they're from, and keep growing it. And names like Pablo Sandoval have won the championship, the biggest game that we have in baseball, MLB here in the States. They're going to be able to see you in person there, see you play the game the way you played it and continue to play it, and just, experience that. It's hard for a fan to share what we experience in a baseball game when we see when we see the way you play it and how you play it when we win games. It's hard to express that. It's hard to tell another fan in the other side of the world, hey, let me share with you how it feels. They have to experience it. They have to see it. They have to see it for themselves. And I think, once again, as we talked about before, what you guys are doing is just bringing, it's going to grow. It's going to grow. It's just the grassroots right now, and it's going to grow, and it's going to take off. And the Jurgens of the world, and Pablo Sandoval and all the other great names you have there are just opening that door for the young guys you're going to find next year and the following year after that, the stars on that side of the world. And they're going to be big names before you know it.
There's one thing that I want to mention is, when something going to start good, when you see the CEO group. Mm-hmm. It's a Hall of Fame groups, professional baseball player group, guys have talent, be involved in the game. Mm-hmm. And we love that. As a player, we love that. We love the communication, the thing we have with the CEOs, we Cash, we John, all those guys. Because those guys know how baseball it is, how hard it is. And those guys have the opportunity to be part of owner or CEO of this group. It's a blessed time for us as a player, for them as a CEO.
No, I agree with you. Pablo, we're gonna kind of end it with this question. I want to ask you, looking forward, you had the showcase, you got the league coming up in November. What are you looking forward to? What are your goals for this coming season, for the inaugural season of Baseball United? What one thing you want to accomplish, and what are you looking forward to?
Like I said, like I mentioned to Jamens and Cash, all those guys, I was part of the history. I want to continue be part of this history, because I don't know if as a player, as a mentor, as a coach, as whatever, I want to be part of this, because I want to teach the young guys the love of the game. I want to teach the young guy how to play the game. I want to be part of this, but because I know this is going to be big time for everyone.
Well, that's awesome, man. We appreciate you coming on, Pablo, and sharing this, part of your journey with us, and of course with Baseball United. Our followers are getting a really good understanding of what Baseball United is about, why you're a part of it, why the big names are a part of it, what they believe in, and where you guys are taking this. So once again, John, thank you for coming on the show. Pablo, thank you for being a part of the show as well. Dylan, thank you for standing in for Brian. And then just once again, our sponsor, Easy Mortgage, for the show. We have our merch page as well. Anybody wants to check it out. And once again, just thank you for being a part of episode 62 of the Legends on Deck podcast.
Thank you.
Appreciate you guys.